Actually, the person that helped me move to Stanford was the first Kuwaiti woman to study in the United States.
Wow.
So that's really exciting.
Wow, you're like
her name is Fakhriya Al-Mazidi. She has been really helpful and amazing. Like, she helped me move my things from Los Angeles to here. She went to USC and she's also an engineer, and it was really inspiring to come with like a trailblazer that allowed us, the Kuwaiti women, like to come and be students here. So
yeah, that must have been so special.
It is really special, and I'm really grateful.
Hello everyone, welcome again to another episode of Carpool Career Talks. Today I'm here with Alghalia. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Alghalia.
Alghalia. Where are you from?
I'm from Kuwait.
How long have you been here?
Well, I came to the US in 2018 for my undergrad.
Yeah.
So, since 2018.
2018. And how have you been finding the US?
I like it here. The weather is nice in California, so it's been nice. And I tried living in SoCal and NorCal. Yeah. So now I have different experiences in each.
You said you're doing your internship. Did you do it in SF?
No, I did it with land buildings and real estate at Stanford this summer.
Let's talk more about your program, then we'll go deep into like your internship and like how you found yourself in this whole construction space. So you're doing your master's?
Yes, in civil and environmental engineering, sustainable design and construction.
And what got you into it?
So my background is also in civil environmental engineering in my bachelor's, although in my program now people come in with different backgrounds. So some people are architects, some people are like construction.
Yeah.
And after my undergrad, I worked in consulting.
Yeah.
So enclosures, roofing, and waterproofing.
Yeah.
So it was actually a hard decision for me right out of undergrad to decide what to do my master's in. I was like, do I do structural or water? I even did like spin the wheel. But with work, I started to find like what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And I started going to site maybe like once or 3 times a week, depending on the week.
Yeah.
And I was just interested in it and wanted to learn more. And my program specifically has really cool classes, and we can take things out of the program as well.
Yeah.
So I've been taking like real estate classes and negotiation, and next quarter I'll be taking like a class at the law school and a class at the business school, the GSB.
So cool.
So I'm really excited that it allows me to experience different types of classes.
Yeah.
It's mainly like 4 tracks. You could go into the energy track, or structures, or management, or urban systems.
Yeah.
But you get to take classes in all the different tracks.
I'm curious, what law class do you want to take?
Real estate transactions.
Wow. So this is like how lawyers deal with different real estate transactions when people want to buy houses, sell houses. Is that it?
I don't think it's just houses, so it can be commercial properties as well.
Yeah.
I still haven't taken the class, so I'm not really sure about the content, but I would imagine like understanding what's in the contracts and understanding like the negotiations and different aspects of it. But it should be interesting. I live right by the law school, so now I'll have a class there.
Oh, I wish all my classes were just like walk out of my room and...
No, it's usually a trek for me.
Yeah. But yeah, it's usually like really fun to take classes outside. I want to like take more of the like chill ones, all the swimming or horseback riding.
Yeah, I actually visited the horseback riding area this week, which was cool.
Are you taking the class?
No, I didn't take any of these classes.
Yeah.
But they sound really cool. There's also a jewelry making class, so I think that would sound interesting.
Yeah.
But there's also these dancing classes, which seem really fun.
I took a dance class in the fall quarter last year. Contemporary dance. It was fun. It was fun. It was really fun. And now I want to take the social dance class, but it's very competitive and like hard to get into.
Yeah, I know people usually are by their laptops the first, the second it opens to get a spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, over the summer I did the Ignite program as well. I know other people you interviewed did that.
Oh yeah.
And I also did the SGSI, so 1 week at the D School, which is the design school at Stanford, for that are not familiar, I did the Design the Professional, which was really interesting.
Okay, let's talk a bit more about where we're headed. We're going to a garden. What's the name of the garden again?
Yeah, San Jose Municipal Rose Garden.
Yeah, and she has been there, so I'll let you give us like a what to expect.
Well, I don't know how it is in this time of year. Hopefully the flowers are still surviving. But it has a nice fountain and a bunch of different flowers, mostly roses, different colors.
Yeah.
So this summer I went to a lot of rose gardens, so it's been the theme of the year. I got to go to the flower fields in Carlsbad near San Diego, and then I also went to tulip fields in Washington by Seattle area. So I'm excited to show you
sounds
this.
Like a very, I'm excited to see it. I love gardens.
Stanford itself also has a lot of cool flowers and fruits.
Yeah.
Have you picked any of them?
The cactus garden. I've not picked any of the fruits.
Okay.
But I should. Sure.
The finger limes at the farm are really good. When you open it, they're like little caviar looking.
Okay. I'll check them out. What are the things you like to do for fun?
I like to hang out with my friends and do different activities.
Yeah.
And I like to try different foods. And I like watching Arabic shows as well.
Would you recommend some for me? Which ones should I watch?
Depends on what streaming you have. So you have only Netflix. Usually I watch them on Shahid or Shasha. But Netflix, there's The Devil's Advocate and what's it called in English? The Exchange.
Yeah.
As-Safqa, which is about the first Kuwaiti woman and the Kuwaiti stock market.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. There's also like other ones that are not Kuwaiti, like Finding Ala. These are shows, and then there's movies. There's the most recent one I've seen on Netflix, Honeymoonish, which is a Kuwaiti rom-com.
Yeah.
And my sister actually was the art director in a Kuwaiti show, but I haven't watched it yet, but it's next on the list.
Yeah.
I'll watch the show that my sister worked on, so I'm excited about that.
Yay, congratulations to her.
Thank you.
Is Arabic the main language in Kuwait?
Yes, but we're usually all bilingual.
Okay. English and Arabic?
Yes.
What languages do you teach in schools?
It depends on which school. So if you go to a government school, it's mostly in Arabic, and then you'll probably have an English class.
Yeah.
But then we have international schools, American schools, British schools.
Yeah.
I think there's a French school. So there's different types of schools. I went to the American Academy for Girls.
Yeah. What is Kuwait like? If I want to visit Kuwait, what would you tell me to look forward to?
It's very family oriented, and there's a lot of events, lots of gatherings, weddings, stuff to go to. A lot of good food. I think we have amazing food.
Yeah.
And I enjoy watching our shows.
Yeah.
But it's a small country. If you'd visit, I'd recommend you visit probably during the winter time.
Okay.
Since the summers get really hot. If you're not used to it, it's...
But winter is not hot? It's not cold? Sorry.
The winter is cold. It's not snowing or anything, but it gets pretty chilly.
Yeah. What do you want this video to be about? It's about you. What do you want people to see?
I think why I agreed to it is probably I recently looked at some of the paintings I did in high school.
Yeah.
And one of them was like, it's about time. I think 12 of them were about time.
Yeah.
It was the theme of my AP art. And one of them was very applicable. It was a picture like myself, and then there's a different roads. And then I'm like, there's a clock ticking, and I need to decide like which path to take.
Yeah.
So
is it
you can go
painting
now.
And construction?
It wasn't really about construction, although it had roads. But I was never really a transportation engineer. But what was interesting was in different points of your life, you think differently, you have different dilemmas, you have different decisions to make.
Yeah.
And I thought this would be cool to see like in a couple of years from now or when I'm older, especially since, I don't know why, but on my video, on my phone, most of the videos like I can't watch, they're like error loading or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think I have any. So taking videos is kind of out of my comfort zone. I love pictures.
Yeah.
I always take pictures, and anyone in my life would know I'm like, oh, let's take a picture. I think it's a way to preserve like the moment or to remember it. But I have a few videos of myself, not that much, so I thought it would be good. And then also I like to watch other people's interviews. Like there's a thing in Kuwait, it's called a Sanduq al-Aswad, which is a program. They interview different types of people and they talk about their life journeys. Usually they're older in age.
Yeah.
And since I like watching other people's interviews and get inspired from them and learn from them, I was thinking maybe if someone is interested in my program or they're from Kuwait as well and would like to hear how it's like in Stanford or studying in the US or California, just maybe tips that I would have given my younger self that was looking into coming here.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about what the application process was for you back in Kuwait when you're thinking about your undergrad. What was it like for you to apply to college in the US from Kuwait?
Yeah, so I applied to 3 different continents. In Kuwait, I took the Qudarat to go to Kuwait University, but then when I took the test, I kind of didn't want to go. Like when I saw the campus, it was my first time on campus. Actually, I've been there before, but this was the engineering campus in Alghalia. I've been to another campus where the business students would go during high school. But then I also toured a lot of schools in the UK when I was in grade 11 with my school. And in the tour, I loved AUS, American University of Sharjah. And I applied for their civil engineering program and got in. So that was an option for me. I also applied to places in the UK. So Cambridge and London. A lot of my friends went there for medical school or engineering or different things. So I knew I had friends and it's closer to home. I knew my parents would visit me. And then I applied to very random places in the US. Like Colorado. I think LMU, where I went to undergrad, was the only place I applied to in California. And then University of Miami and some other locations. I think I applied to Santa Clara, actually, which is in the Bay Area. It's close to where we're going. But it was pretty interesting. And then usually, like, my mom or someone will ask, like, their friends, like, oh, which universities do you think? Or I would go to these, like, university career fairs, and every university would have a booth. And then they'll show us, like, the brochures and stuff, but you'll never really know. LMU, where I went, came to my high school and gave a talk. Showed us different things about the school. So, and then I liked it and I applied through Common App. But if I were to apply again to civil engineering, I would definitely apply to Cal Poly, like Cal Poly SLO. I would apply to like UCLA or USC, as well as like some of the bigger schools. Like, although I was valedictorian, but I didn't apply to any like huge school. And
did you feel like back then you didn't feel you were fit for it?
Maybe that's part of it. I definitely, during my undergrad, I grew more confident and I figured out like what I like to do and what I'm capable of doing. But it was a couple of factors. So first, like I got into Colorado as well, and it was going to be really cold. Even though I got a better scholarship, my mom was like, no, like go to California.
Would you say there are a lot of students in Kuwait who would want to study abroad?
Yes, a lot of students do. Actually, where I went to undergrad, LMU, Kuwaitis are like the number 1 in population in comparison to other countries. Which was interesting.
That's very interesting. How large is Kuwait?
But then it was very different because coming here, last year I didn't meet anyone that went to Stanford from Kuwait. So I was looking the whole year. I went to all like the Muslim events, any events. And I think I was the only one.
Have you met anyone from Kuwait now, Stanford?
Yeah, but he went to LMU as well. And like I gave him a quick tour before he started. So, and it's funny because we went to the same program in my undergrad and now he's in my same program here as well. So we're the 2 Kuwaitis in Stanford in the same program.
How large is the Kuwait community in the US?
It depends on which city. I don't have a number for you, but
Okay.
I
How
should
large
look up
is
the
Kuwait?
statistics.
You don't know.
We're like a little over 1 million Kuwaitis, I would think, and then I should check the numbers, but I think it's over
You're
4
all
million.
good. I can't say how large Nigeria is. I just know it's large.
I know it's small.
Yeah.
And actually, the person that helped me move to Stanford was the first Kuwaiti woman to study in the United States.
Wow.
So that's really exciting.
Wow, you're like
her name is Alghalia Abulhasan.
right?
She has been really helpful and amazing. Like she helped me move
Wow.
my things from Los Angeles to
Yeah.
here. She went to USC and she's also an engineer, and it was really inspiring to come with like a trailblazer that allowed us, the Kuwaiti women, like to come and be students here. So
yeah, that must have been so special.
Yeah, it is really special, and I'm really grateful, and it just puts in perspective that it is kind of cool that I can meet someone that like opened the door for all of us. It would probably be open like eventually, but then she's definitely an inspiration.
Yeah, that's exciting. Okay,
we arrived. Tones 2, which is a Persian restaurant. She has not been here, and if you know LA, it's filled with a lot of good Persian food, and I don't really get to eat a lot of it in the Bay Area, so I'm really excited.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, that's my first vlog.
How does it feel vlogging? There's something you mentioned that you like keeping memories. What's something you want your future self to see or hear you say today? Send a message to your future self.
It's a deep one. Maybe I'll think of it while we're eating. This is the restaurant.
Yeah, Stone Stew.
Yeah.
Restaurant.
Yeah, they didn't sponsor me for this.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay, let's go to Santana Row and find somewhere to eat there.
We just crashed the funeral.
Yeah, they had an event. It's a big place, so they host events.
Yeah.
We saw like her picture and candles and
stuff.
stuff.
And at the entrance as we were walking in, this lady was just like putting her head out just to tell me that I look so good. She was like, "Oh, you look so beautiful." Yeah.
I think in the US, a lot of people give compliments, which was nice. Like everyone's really friendly.
I love how nice people are.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to Santana Row. Hopefully there wouldn't be a funeral there. How did your journey begin to engineering? How did you find your path to civil engineering?
So my father and my brother, they're both civil engineers, but they both do completely different things. And even in my time working, I also did something very different.
Yeah.
But I knew that, so I always liked like history and math.
Yeah.
And like everyone, usually most engineers like math. So I was like, perfect.
Okay.
But in Kuwait, usually your grades will be out when you get the scholarship.
Yeah.
And then they publish it on like the newspaper or like, it's like public.
Whoa.
And then, so everyone,
newspaper.
so everyone that had my grade, and it's like also digitally there. So everyone that had my grade was like doctor, and then like civil engineering, doctor. It was like based on your grade, and usually like people with the highest grade go into medicine, and then like you could do engineering.
Yeah.
But going in, I don't think I had anything in mind, but I knew that it is broad enough that I will find like my specific interest. And a lot of things, for example, when I was a kid, there was this recycling event, because there's not like compost or recycling bins in Kuwait, like in schools or in public. I think you can call services that can come, but I remember I was so excited to collect like all the plastic bottles, and I would ask like my family members to collect them from people they knew. And I felt like accomplished. I went and I have like my pictures like as a kid, so proud of myself. So that was like my first like time alone, and then it said like for environmental or something. So I like solving problems and leaving the world a little better. If it's like sustainability wise or water systems and resilience or like with buildings and vertical construction. What I like the most, I think, about engineering is that it's very collaborative. So you go and team up with unique people, and we all have our different skill sets to deliver a project. If it's big or small, I just think it's a good environment to be in.
Does Kuwait still do that? Publish results publicly?
I didn't check this year, but they usually do it.
Yeah. How does it make students feel though?
And I was happy. I was proud of myself. But I'm sure, like, if you would talk to different people.
Yeah. It's a way for the world to know if you did good. It's like a way to reward the people that studied hard.
Yeah. I can tell all the Kuwaiti students to get their license here and to get a driving instructor, because getting my license here was one of my big accomplishments that I'm proud of, and I used it in my career as well.
Yeah.
This internship I had over the summer is actually my first job where I didn't have to drive to work. But yeah, with the different rules, like in Kuwait you can't turn right when it's red. And then there's not really this like yielding situation when you're going left.
Yeah, so you would have to get a license here. I think it's just best to get a license in every country you're driving. Yeah,
and to get like instructor or like practice.
Yeah. How long did it take you to learn?
Oh, mine, I did it during COVID, so I did many classes. This was the activity.
Yeah.
But also, since I was learning how to drive away from my family, I really had to make sure that also I always feel like it's a lot of responsibility, like taking care of everyone on the road. Like now I'm just not responsible for myself. So I always had this sense of responsibility. I got my license here, I think, when I was 19, which is late in comparison to like Americans. They usually drive when they're 16, get their permits when they're like 15 and a half or something.
I just got my license at 25, so it's not too late. It's never too late to get your license.
Yeah. Okay, so we are out in the world.
So which restaurant should we get ice? No, let's eat first, then we'll get ice cream.
And I can do ice cream first, whatever you like.
We just got back from Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, we started out wanting to go to the Rose Garden.
Yeah.
And then we took a detour to eat.
Yeah.
And then Stone Stew had this.
Yeah, it was a whole journey, but I'm very excited about how it ended up.
Yeah, it was her first time going to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
So that's a very American thing to do. So she had the bread, right?
I love the bread. What did they put in it? Is it chocolate? Or how was it?
I don't know. I just eat it.
It's delicious. I like it.
Yeah,
I love that.
We're in Santana Road though. It's your first time here, right?
Yeah, and I like it here. Yeah, now I understand when people say San Jose. It's kind of even more lively than San Francisco.
Yeah, everyone is like eating out and shopping.
Yeah, everyone's just walking.
Yeah.
You know, about.
And most importantly, the weather is like warmer.
Yeah.
And there's no hills.
Yeah.
It's crazy how every city or area is like has a different feel.
Yeah, it's so cool. Maybe San Jose is somewhere I can stay after graduation.
Yeah, you can check it out.
Yeah.
It's very close by too. So you'll be familiar with the area.
Yeah. Now you've learned about Alghalia. She is an awesome person, first off, and she is a civil engineer in the making. Oh, she's already a civil engineer. She was working before her master's program. Do you want to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah. So I interned from my junior to senior year in building enclosures, building technology, consulting. And the firm had like structural, fire, like EMI department, and my department, which is like roofing, waterproofing, forensics. It was a really good experience and I really loved it there. That's why I went back after graduating. Yeah, so if you have OPT questions, stuff like that, I went through that process. And during that time, I also was able to pass my FE, which is the EIT certificate. It's like around 6-hour exam about like different engineering topics. And then after that, I passed my PE exam, which is 8 hours long. And then it's split into 2 parts, the breadth and the depth. So it's a really big deal, I think, for civil engineers. So I was really happy that I got that done.
Yeah. Did you have to apply for pre-OPT? Or just post-OPT?
I did the post-OPT because during my internship, it was CPT.
Yeah.
I remember like back then, everything when you want to start something new, it's very scary. You're like, oh, is the paperwork okay? Or like, is this the right decision for me? But I think I'm proud of where I'm at, and I'm happy, even though like it was like a lot, like working during the day and then studying in the office with my friend. She was in office that's also in downtown, so we would study together. It's like 8 p.m. 3 times a week.
Ooh.
And but then it was worth it in the end. I'm glad it paid off.
Yeah.
But it was a lot because I was applying to like Stanford for my graduate degree and taking the exams, and I was like new at work and trying to learn as much as I can. And I think I like to keep myself busy, so I always tend to want to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But then from everything, I learned something different, and that's the most important thing. Like, if at the end of each day, I learn like one thing, even if it's not like career related.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy that.
Yeah, I agree. It's just the small learnings, and at the end of the day, it just accumulates to become like something.
I remember when I lived in Kuwait and I was gonna study abroad. Like, most importantly was how to learn how to like live alone. Like, I applied to university when I was 16, and then I moved to the US when I was 17, and I lived alone as well. So it was kind of like learning all the different things. Like, I'd have to like pay rent and the utilities, and then figuring things out. Especially when I got my car, I got like even more responsibilities. Like, I have to, if I got a flat tire, I'll have to like deal with it, or if something happens.
A whole lot of
But I think that was my goal, and my parents are really supportive of it. My mom always wants me to be independent and like learn all these skills. So it was in the beginning everyone thought like, oh, you're gonna come back in like 3 months. But then I made the most out of it, and I met amazing people along the way that helped me out, and that's why I would also like to give back.
Yeah, that's really awesome. For me, I feel like to an extent, I don't know if it was a blessing in disguise, but I didn't want it at all. Because when I started college, that was when my family moved. And where we moved to was very close to the college I got into. So my dad was like, you'll go to school from home. There's no point paying for, hostel or something. And I went to college from home. And I don't know, I feel like to an extent, personally, I felt like I would have loved to not have to go to college from home. Maybe I would have lent a home. But there's another aspect to it that I just feel like I was protected in a way. And like, I was protected from a lot of things that might have happened to me if I didn't stay at home. And in the last year of college, I was like, okay, now I really want to go to college. And I was making some money for myself. And I went and paid for a hostel before I told my parents that, okay, this year, I'm not staying from home. And the hostel was like, I could walk there. And I paid...
Like a hotel?
A hostel, a school hostel.
Oh, okay. It's like a dorm.
Yeah, like a dorm,
Okay.
So we call it hostels.
Okay, cool.
So that was my first time living alone, and I actually felt really good. It was all good until there was this time. It was closer to the end of my final year. In that same hostel, there were like a lot of people, right? And so in the same house, we had neighbors. So it's like just the way the hostels are here. You have like dorms, everybody in their own apartment. So this one particular person, he just moved into the place, and then for some reason he just like picked an interest in me. And at night he would slide letters under my door.
Oh, that's creepy. And he signed
love
his
letters
name. Oh my God.
Under my door. And initially it was like, oh, what a cute thing to happen, a guy. But then it didn't stop, and it just became more and more creepy. And anytime I step out of the room, it's always, I just feel so terrorized. And I just told him, you should stop sliding those letters, and I don't want to, like, I was very subtle with it. But then from somebody in the building, he found my number and he'll start messaging me. And I was very, very scared. I'll tell him to stop messaging me, I'll block the contact, and this guy will get a new number, call me, introduce himself as a new person, and try to start a conversation again. there were more than 20 numbers that he used.
Oh my god, that's really creepy.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, it was really creepy.
Yeah.
But like that is the reason why I believe that I was just protected. Or maybe it's because I didn't live out before that. I didn't really experience all of these things. But
I don't think anyone should experience that, but sometimes, like, especially if he knows like where you live, it's really scary. But
yeah, he stalked me. I was so scared and horrified.
did you move out of the place, or you continued the year?
Fortunately, that was like the end of my program.
Okay.
So
You know, today I thought of something with all the different options in Cheesecake Factory. I remembered advice I learned in the D school, and I think it's very applicable for like careers. Don't have only 2 options, have minimum 3. Like, not should I go there or not, always have like 3 different things, and don't have more than 6. So I think a good amount of options of things to do or to choose from is like between 3 to 6, because you saw like if there's so many options,
you
it's
don't know
hard
what to
to
go
choose.
for.
Yeah, and then you might even get overwhelmed and not do anything about it. So I think
That is such a great point. That is such a great. It actually occurred to me when I opened that menu. Like, this is too much. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up and how that relates to career, because the narrower you get with your career options, the better it is for you overall. Because then you have more clarity in knowing that, oh, this is where you want to focus all your energy and headspace, on.
And I also would recommend a tool that I also learned there. So if you put your options, like in each column is a different option, and then each row can be different criteria. So for example, if you're contemplating between 3 to 4 different locations, you can see like, is it near your family? Is it near your friends? Is the weather good? So every person will have different criteria.
Is it the Odysseys? Are you talking about?
Yeah. But I think this is like a great way to decide when you're between things. And I used it this time, and I recommend it.
Yeah, it's very great, and it's like one of the things I included in the Confucian Clarity Toolkit, so definitely check it out. It's such an awesome tool. In summary, you get to like design 4, 5 or 6 different versions of your life, like how they would all turn out if whatever direction you take, and such a fun way to think about, oh, what would your life look like if you just made this small change or this small minor decision. But this is it, guys. It was such a fun discussion, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed sharing this story with you. And I'm going to link Alghalia's LinkedIn and Instagram in the description, to make sure to follow her and subscribe, like the video if you liked it, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye.